Have you experienced the Mandela Effect? In this episode, we will go over a variety of Mandela Effects being discussed online.
It's Nerf Barrel Storm with a rapid-firing, semi-automatic rotating turret.
It's Nerf
or nothing.
When it comes to terrorizing your siblings or parents, no one did it better than Nerf toys. You would tear open the package to instantly lose a few darts and peg someone in the head or eye with the remaining hard-tipped projectiles.
God, stop!
What's wrong with you?
This first Mandela Effect has us looking at the brand's slogan.
I just heard it's Nerf or nothing at the end of a Nerf commercial. It's a no commercial. I wasn't looking, so I don't know if there was text on the screen. Has Nerf resumed the catchphrase? I haven't heard or nothing for a very long time.
When looking at their wiki fan page for the brand's slogan, it is not the first one. There is only one Nerf. Get real, get Nerf. Play your game, and then we get to it's Nerf or nothing. I have to admit I don't recall any of these except it's Nerf or nothing, but let me know what you recall down in the comments below.
They still use it. Their offerings have been shitty the last few years, so it's mostly been nothing.
What exactly is supposed to be the Mandela Effect here? That Nerf may have a new commercial that uses their old catchphrase? How is that in any way in a Mandela Effect? This may be a new low for this sub.
The next Mandela Effect dealing with Nerf has to do with what the toys were called. Many people remember them being Nerf guns, but now they are called Nerf blasters.
I always remembered them as Nerf guns, not Nerf blasters.
When searching the term, you are able to find them as blasters, but many people call them guns. Could this be due to the word being seen as a negative or as some kind of gang Nerf war?
Lots of people call them Nerf guns because it seems like more of a natural name. It doesn't mean anybody is in any alternative universe. It wouldn't be the first time lots of people have referred to a popular product by a name different to the one of the box, and most of the time you'd be unlikely to notice.
Nerf gun is being nerfed because blaster is just a friendly, more PC term for a kid's toy, probably.
When it comes to products, it is true that instead of facial tissue, for instance, we call any brand of tissue Kleenex. This is caused by great marketing campaigns ensuring a brand name becomes the product and enters more of our everyday dialogue. No one ever asks somebody if they have a Puffs.
America's #1 lotion tissue.
How you doing?
This is Lars.
In July of 1984, Metallica released their second EP titled Ride the Lightning. This album got me through an entire summer at my grandma's. I put on my headphones and would get lost in the melodic bass played by Cliff Burton in The Call of Cthulhu, the absolute shredding in Trapped Under Ice, the heartbreak of Fade to Black, the uplifting lyrics in Escape, and of course, the all too real story of For Whom the Bell Tolls. This Mandela Effect has us asking what was on the cover of the album.
I remember there being a bell instead of a chair on the cover for the Ride the Lightning referencing For Whom the Bell Tolls. I remember my uncle years ago telling me that the thing on the cover was a bell. Years later, they told me it was a chair. And I was like, what? No. And then he showed me it, and I couldn't believe it was a chair. He said he never told me it was a bell, so I really don't know. Anyone remember a bell on the cover?
When looking for art showing a bell, I was only able to find this image. I then looked at art of the Liberty Bell that has a crack in it, not due to lightning.
No, it's always been an electric chair because Ride the Lightning.
Yes, true, but I remember it referencing both songs. The title track, Ride the Lightning, is about a man dying in the electric chair. Did this Mandela Effect shock you?
You gotta do more than that.
Pay attention to the next clip. Have you seen this before? This viral meme has many people caterwauling because they don't remember this big pink box in front of the piano, obstructing the view of the cat. And it is definitely something you would remember.
Dinner's almost on. Do you want potatoes or stovetop stuffing with the chicken?
Stovetop stuffing.
The next Mandela Effect has to do with a holiday dinner must. That lovely little box of bread, stovetop stuffing.
Stouffer's stovetop stuffing.
My favorite part of Thanksgiving and Christmas dinners and randomly throughout the year is now not a thing and never has been?
Do you remember stovetop stuffing being Stouffer's? When doing research, I found that it wasn't a Kraft Foods product until the year 1990. Before that, it was purchased by General Foods from the original owner and creator, Ruth Seams. She was a native to Evansville, Indiana, and sadly passed away in 2005. Rest in peace, Ruth. You were a true American hero. If things couldn't get any stranger, people don't recall Shake and Bake also being a Kraft product. Do these logos look off to you? Has this reality changed? Would you shove this up a turkey's keister? Also, if you made it this far, I want to say thank you. I make these videos by myself and they take a lot of time. So I do appreciate you watching. And if you are not yet subscribed, then please hang out more often by clicking that red subscribe button for future content. The final Mandela Effect takes us to the final book of the Bible,
Revelation.
With the current state of affairs in our world today, I'm sure you have all seen someone being mean, rude, or violent.
They can't hear me because they're listening to Kids Bop.
With all the human emotions that a person can conjure, anger can be the most brutal. But not as brutal as God's wrath, when he wants to wipe the earth clean like hitting the restart button on a gaming console. Introducing the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse: war, famine, death, and pestilence. At least that's what people recall. But pestilence is not the name of one of the 4 horsemen. It goes famine, war, conquest, and death. Whenever the 4 horsemen are brought up or said, I personally envision the X-Men animated series.
Famine, pestilence, war.
I know for a fact this is why I remember pestilence being one of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse.
And my greatest creation, death.
I posted this poll and fucked it up by putting conquer instead of conquest.
Look, here's the thing.
Fine. Listen,
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm kind of retarded.
Nevertheless, I believe we get some kind of data. During the time of making this episode, it was at 80% for Conquer with 66 votes. When it comes to residue, it appears that Pestilence and Conquest are interchangeable. A great comment left by Swiss Cheese on the 4 Horsemen poll states that people also would see this horseman as the Antichrist. So to recap, the first horseman can be either pestilence, conquest, or even the Antichrist. People argue that it seems weird to have a horseman named War and one named Conquest. It seems redundant, and many people recall pestilence being in the Bible.
Do you have any hard data?
Well, nothing that you would call rock hard.
Actually, it's pretty limp, sir.
Thank you for watching, and don't forget to send the like button to an alternate universe, and let me know down below if any of these Mandela Effects made you question your reality, and could we be living in a simulation? Decide to call the man who solves problems, the one and only Winston Wolfe.
I'm Winston Wolfe. Solve problems.
Many people recall the scene where he arrives in his car and the plate being personalized with Mr. Wolfe, much like this. But now it is no longer a vanity plate.